Hi viewers, my friends, thank you so much for your subscription, uh, appreciation, comments, and very valuable suggestions. Thanks a ton. And today, let me take you through the topic that you have asked me over the emails. Actually, these are some of the questions that have come to me. I'm not going to, please apologies, but I wouldn't like to really disclose the names who have sent me emails, but I'm just sharing the questions and their queries, uh, keeping their privacy and respecting their individuality. Does she sleeps early? Well, if we are looking at these questions, English is a phonetic language. Even if we may not be, grammatically very knowledgeable, or we may not be able to explain that what is particularly wrong with these kind of sentences, but our ears are accustomed to correct English. And so the moment you hear this kind of English, you can understand something is wrong. We all can do so. Now, the grammatical explanation is, let's analyze this language. English is also called known to be for its preciseness, being economical. So if we keep these two qualities in mind, let's just try to understand that why is this sentence incorrect on the basis of logic. If I'm already having S here, does, this is a verb, sleeps. How can we have another S here? That means two verbs having S doesn't make sense. If in one sentence, rather, one S is sufficient to be used for these kind of questions. Here also, so does your neighbors cooperate with you in times of need? Now, what's wrong with this? Any guess? Let's look at this noun, neighbors. This is plural, right? So here, ideally, we should be using do or did, but not S. Why? Reason? Just to recapitulate, my friends, we will use a verb with S only and only when we are creating a question for a third person singular. Just to make you remember, I first person, you second person. Anything that is not I or you or anybody else is a third person. Now, if it is a third person single, let's say mother, father, book, cupboard, shelf, then I can frame a question with does. Does your laptop work efficiently? So here, ideally, I should be using do your neighbors cooperate with you or did your neighbors cooperate with you? The third sentence, does she a medical representative? Oh my God, that's a blunder, right? You can make it out, right? Absolutely. Here, what is the blunder? We'll discuss it after this, but certainly this should not be here. Let me take you through the next slide. The do family of verbs. What is this family? I have already talked about that, there are families of verbs, and right now we are talking about this family, the do family. These are the members. I'm not going to discuss done today. Do, does, and did is the area of our concern today. Do and does I have already discussed. So just once again, a recapitulation for more clarity. Ask about work. Do, does, and did. If we take a literal meaning of do, work, activity, action. So certainly we will, when we want to use these, we should be making questions to ask about your work and not identity. Identity, he's a doctor, she's a teacher, whereabouts. He lives in Dubai, she lives in India, uh, they live in Park Street, so and so lives in Norway, wherever. Concern or condition. Condition could be she is in a cheerful mood today. She's upset. Any kind of concern. She is not well. She's unwell. So these are some of the concerns. Now we are not going to frame questions about all the other things except work. I hope that makes sense because after all it is do. So now if we come back to this slide, does she a medical representative? Medical representative? Profession, right? It's her identity, right? Teacher, medical representative, professor, scientist. So here, doesn't make sense because we're not saying that she's doing something or she does something. This is her identity. So here, instead of does, we would be using is she a medical representative? Is she a teacher? Is she a homemaker? We will discuss the verbs, the use of is and is varied, the context in the next sessions. So let me take, I hope that this part was clear. And if you just remember this one, that do is doing, work, action, then that will just click in our mind that, okay, so I'm going to I can create questions with do, does, and did only when I want to ask about work. So I have already done the corrections here. Once again, my heartfelt thanks to all the people, all my friends, all my viewers who are coming up with queries. Thank you so much. It just helps me a lot to improve my lesson videos. And my only and only motive is to reach out to anybody and everybody to the maximum that they should be able to, feel confident after watching these videos, learning from them, interacting with them. Just want to help you all out there. So then these are some of the points that we can make a note of from this discussion. And do is flexible, of course. Why flexible? Because I can use do with any subjects. I don't need to think really. Do you prefer ice creams? Do your neighbors, just now we just saw this, do your neighbors cooperate with you? Do I? Well, uh, there are very few instances when I can ask questions about myself, but I'm sure when we ask questions about ourselves to someone, I'm very sure that we all know that someone has to be very much trustworthy and somebody very close to you. Or you can also, we have the habit of asking questions to ourselves in our mind also, which I do it myself. For example, I can ask that to someone, maybe to my mother for an opinion, that mom, do I cook well? So that's it. To the teacher, you can say, we can say, do we, your children can say, ma'am, do we disturb you? So that's like taking an opinion about your action. Do you all have your gadgets with you, like that? Does is rigid, conservative. Definitely we have seen that because does, S is there, and we can use it with he, she, it, or a third person noun, singular noun. And we have seen these examples. For example, yeah, definitely. Does it rain often in Dubai? No, it doesn't. And that's the truth. It doesn't. In fact, in Dubai, it just rains twice a year. Ask only about work. So this is what we need to remember, that we are using two verbs only when we want to ask about work. A routine function maybe. It can be something like that. Do you go out in your summer vacations? Now, summer vacation is once a year. So that's a kind of an annual routine. So do you go out in your summer vacations? Or do you watch football on Sundays? Weekly routine. Do you jog every day? Daily routine. And all these do and does is used in present tense. I hope that till here we are together and I have addressed your queries. With this, I would like to begin today's session, session 2. Some common mistakes that we do with did. Did you like the movie? Can somebody tell me? Can you give it a try? I know you can't tell me, I'm sorry, but you can write to me or maybe you can make a note. What's wrong with this sentence? That's correct. This did is there, right? Which is already in past. Do we actually need another past tense verb? How do I know that this is a verb? Remember, we had discussed this part in the last session. Any sentence ideally should begin with a subject and a verb. So here you is the subject. The main verb is liked. Why am I calling this main verb? Because if I take this away, did you the movie, wouldn't make any sense. Then what on the earth is did? Did is not the main verb. It's a kind of a helping verb that is helping the sentence to be accurate. So what if I don't use did? You liked the movie? Would that be wrong English? No, I wouldn't say that would be wrong English. I mean, for a person who doesn't get much, bothered with grammar and all, often in casual talks, we do who think so much that okay, I have to use a did and all. Just out of spontaneity, we do say, okay, fine. You like the movie? I think that's perfectly fine. That's okay. That's fluency. Confidently you're speaking something, and that does make sense, and the person who you're speaking to is understanding what you're saying and is responding appropriately. So as long as what you speak, the other person understands and responds appropriately, you are absolutely fine. But for people like us, or even you, who want to take, who want to, who want the English to be more accurate and things about grammar, for them, of course, will be a little more grammatically correct. So, did you like the movie? So here the blunder is the here. When I'm already having a past, I don't need another past. Just like does, when I already have an S there, does, I should not be using does he likes. The other S doesn't make sense. So again, coming back English, we have to, we have to keep the quality of this language, the uh, feature of this language, the economic. So nothing extra. So did your friends help you? Same mistake. Yeah, we do make these mistakes. We think that, okay, I'm using past tense, so everything should be in past. All the verbs should be in past. Did the trip enjoyable? Here again, if you look at it, here I am trying to inquire about an action that has happened. Did you like it? Here, did your friends help? Again, this is an action, but where is the action here? This is more like an opinion. So did the trip enjoyable? No. Rather, because did, right? Belongs to the family of do verbs, but no action. So I should be using here, was the trip enjoyable? Don't worry, we will be discussing is, was, and all these later. So I hope I could give you clarity on this, on how to use it. And let us look at some more slides. Did you like, so in fact, this is how it goes. Did you like the movie last night? Yes, I did. Did I walk in Paris last week? See, that's me. Keep on asking questions to myself. No, I didn't. So, if you notice one thing, when we are answering this kind of questions, grammatically, go with yes, this kind of reply is grammatically perfect. Yes, I did. But if you want to speak more, nobody has stopped you. Just a gentle reminder that I'm helping you with the development of accuracy in conversation, in communication, applying grammar in communication. But this does not mean that this is the ultimate. It is just to give you, make you conscious of making your conversations accurate. That's all. So, of course, I don't have to read this again. So today we have completed, discussing the simple present tense with making questions with do and does, where to apply and everything. Today I think you have made the guess, and that's the right guess. Today we are discussing simple past. So our learning outcomes. At the end of this video, I hope that you will understand the use of simple past tense verbs, apply simple past tense verbs appropriately in varied contexts. Now, if there's a short excerpt, it's a conversation here that I've shared with you all. I'll just read a bit for you. Robert, it's between Robert and Alice. Robert says, "Hi Alice, what did you do last weekend?" Alice, "I did a lot of things. On Saturday, I went shopping." Robert, "What did you buy?" Alice, "I bought some new clothes. I also played tennis." Robert, "Who did you play?" Alice, "I played Tom." Robert, "Did you win?" Alice says, "Of course I won." Robert says, "What did you do after your tennis match?" Alice says, "Well, I went home and took a shower and then went out." So just look at the flow of the conversation, please. These are some points that I've shared with you, if you can kindly make a note of it. The verbs used by Alice are in simple past tense. Let's have a look at these verbs. I did a lot of things. On Saturday, I went. Alice, again here she says, I bought. I also played. Just to take your attention to the sentence structure again, I subject, here verb is did. On Saturday, that's not the subject is I again. Went is the verb. So if you see that the basic structure of English remains the same in the conversations. Now you might ask me that why am I picking with on Saturday? That's fine. That's completely fine. If you want to keep this on Saturday after the sentence, even that's fine. But the basic structure is the same. It's you, there's a subject, and went, the verb. Okay. So I have here made a list of all the verbs that Alice has used in this conversation. Let's just read the verbs. Did, went, bought, played, won, took, ate, enjoyed, drank, didn't, stayed, studied. These are all past because she's talking about what she has done last weekend. And so these are simple past tense. Point 3. Two styles of conversing here. We can observe that here. Robert says, did you eat in a restaurant? Alice says, yes, I did. Or she could have replied, no, I didn't. Then Robert says, another style of conversing, which Alice has actually done here. Robert asks, did you eat in a restaurant? Alice says, yes. She could have ended the conversation here. Yes, I did. Done. Or no, I didn't. Done. But she looks to be a very friendly person. She loves to talk and share. So that's Alice. So she went ahead. Yes, we enjoyed our dinner very much. Thank you. We also drank some wonderful wine. That's Alice. So that's the reason I was telling you. Communication, when I say that we are here to focus on the accuracy part, this means that we are trying to take our conversation to the next level of focusing or making our conversation grammatically perfect or grammatically accurate. But that does not mean that I am asking you not to talk or not to be yourself. If you love talking, do not stop. Yes, I did, and then quiet. No, go ahead. Keep on sharing. Point number 4, the beginning of conversation. Hi, Alice. Please make a note of this. Many of us, we think that, okay, she's a friend or she's my sister or she's my mom. I don't even need to tell her hi or something. Let's not do this because it's nice to greet people, right? So now, which way you want to greet, please go ahead. It can be a hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, whichever way you want. If we look at point number 5 for you, Robert's questions, what did you buy? Now, here we are looking at the sentence structure of how to frame questions with did. What did you buy? Who did you play? Did you win? Now you might be asking me again the same, that what is this? Where is subject verb not applied when we are framing questions or we are writing questions down? Of course, it is applied. Now, in case of questions, we are placing the question word before the subject verb. Please note, what did, both are question words. Then you are placing the subject and then the verb. Who did, question words. You, subject. Play is the verb. Similarly, did is the question word. You is the subject and win the verb. Now, the next part that we all need to remember, that we have already seen the mistakes that we usually do in a conversation, we might do in a conversation. What did you buy? Did, past. So the main verbs have to be in their original form. I won't say these are present, these are original verbs, and we change their form according to the context of time. So here, these main verbs, we don't need to put a D there if the question has already a past tense verb. So here, the simple past tense, if we are, as we have seen Alice's conversation, when she was speaking, all her sentences were, the main verb was in past. Spoke. Speak has become spoke. Eat has become ate. Look has become looked. Similarly, when we are making in case of questions, as we just discussed, you, subject, prefer verb, your tutor, subject, provide verb, you, subject, do is the verb. Do you prefer a seaside or hills for vacation? Does your tutor provide tuitions on Fridays? What did you do in the weekend? Please note the time, the context, the time. Do and does. We are asking here, we are asking about your preference. Does, we are trying to gather some information about a tutor based on his work. Preference is a verb. So here, what did you do? This is something that has already happened. It's over. Please remember while conversing these. Avoid. As I said, if you ask someone you prefer pizza, that's perfectly fine. But those who now want to be a little, grammatically, accurate, or want some accuracy in their conversation. Yes, you're right. Do you prefer pizza? How you reached here? No. How did you reach home? You know him? Do you know him? Does he speak English? Does he speak English? Why did he left the party? Why did he leave the party? So ultimately, I want all my friends there, all my students there to please do not stop believing in yourself. Be, be who you are. Be happy with the way you talk. Just these are a few things that we need to remember. So let's see, those are, who feel extremely hesitant, and especially for those, they don't even interact in the crowd, or they don't even, speak in English, thinking how would people judge them and all. Especially for you, my friends, stop thinking what others would think about you. As I said this in the last session also, please do not. This will keep you focused on your conversation. And trust me, nobody has the time to think about you. Everybody is in the rush to get their job done because time is precious for all. So please, please do not judge yourself. Please break that obstacle, that wall of fear, and just come out and be focused on the conversation. And I think that itself, when your conversation closes, trust me, you'll feel happy about yourself that you have conversed. And when someone appropriately replies to your conversation, that itself is a big proof that your communication was effective. Do not speak fast. Please do not do that. That's a kind of being rude. Observe the crowd, person, or situation a little, especially for beginners or people who feel very hesitant to communicate in public. For them, take your time. Wherever you are, observe the crowd. Try to get an impression of the people around you, the person you are sitting with, or maybe the situation, maybe 2 minutes. And this 2 minutes will also give you, time to think about the topic you can initiate, or also think about the purpose before you speak. Let's say you have, okay, let's say you have to, you're in a public park, okay, and somebody is sitting on the same chair, sorry, on the same bench, and you are there. I mean, maybe your children are playing, so you can initiate a conversation. And if you now that pub is a public park, right? And you're not meant to be very formal as such, and not too casual. So it can be a light-hearted, cheerful conversation, because after it's a park, and we all, why did you go there? You went there to relax, right? So similarly, the other person has also come to relax. So think of that. So you can come up with a very cool, set of one or two questions, something like that. First, what would be very sensible? You can just think, I'm in a park, I'm here to relax. Everybody has come to relax. So there's no harm in small talks, right? So you can just ask that, and it's good to, have contacts to know people around you. So you can just begin with, so do you come here every day? Hi, this is James, or hi, this is Susan. Do you come here every day? Let the other speaker talk, whatever he or she wants to reply. And then you can add on that, yes, you know what, I come here every day and I feel so good. This park is so nice. So, and you can take it one step ahead. So, yeah. And that's why I said that please observe the crowd or the situation wherever you are in. Similarly, if I am in a very formal situation where I'm in a meeting, okay, it's kind of a meeting, and I'm meeting my colleagues from all across the centers of the same company. And the meeting is going to start in the next 15 or 20 minutes. People are already sitting there. They are all talking. You may not know. You also want to initiate a conversation. Go ahead. If you are very new, you can ask something important, some informative questions. Do we have such meetings often? Or how many times a year do we have such meetings? This is a way, So these are just one or two suggestions. Of course, just be comfortable, and as I said, just observe the crowd, the person or situation a little. You will get the purpose also. So you will think of the purpose before you speak. Please do so. And of course, begin with do you, as I just told you. Sorry. And then follow it up with questions like, where, what, and why. Now, what do I mean by this? For the beginners, especially, for example, the park example, do you come here every day? After that, you are adding on, well, I come here every day. It's a, I feel good when I come here. I live in XYZ. Where do you live? So remember that flow of conversation that I was talking about? So this is how it keeps the flow. You start with a do you, and then it can be followed with where do you live? But remember, it should come, maintain the flow. It's not like that, okay, do you prefer ice creams? I like to go on seaside. So that's something, a huge no-no. And I hope that I have been able to help all my friends and viewers. And please email me. I look forward to your emails. I'm sorry I could not put them in small, in the lower cases, but all these letters are in the lower cases. Please make a note of it. It's MOHSINA Warsi, WARSI, Mosina Warsi at gmail.com. Thank you so much, my friends and viewers. I know I'm telling this many times, but I'm actually very excited, and I sincerely wait for your comments, for your suggestions. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Please take care. Be cheerful no matter what happens. Keep that positivity inside you. Uh, just don't let it die. Okay. Bye.